Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
This week we've been talking about Stephen, one of the first deacons, a man full of wisdom and the Holy Spirit's power. When he stood up for the Lord, his adversaries got some false witnesses to say they heard him blaspheme against the temple, the law, and their customs. As Stephen faced the Sanhedrin, they asked him if these charges were true. His response kind of seems like a Jewish history lesson. He started with Abraham, a man they could all relate to. But Abraham didn't have the law. All he had were God's promises, which he trusted. He had a simple faith, not one that was confused by man's traditions. The next patriarch Stephen appealed to was Joseph. He was rejected by his brothers, stripped of everything, including his family and the land of promise. Again, without a temple and without the law. He followed Yahweh, and the promise of God was fulfilled, that the family would become slaves in another land. Then there was Moses. He too was rejected by his brothers, yet God used him to bring all of them to the promised land. But the people continually rebelled and turned away from God to idols, especially after settling in the promised land. Finally, God exiled them to Babylon. Over and over, the Israelites, God's people, rebelled and rejected those God sent to bring them back to Him, just as people were doing in Stephen's time, just as people do now. Then Stephen started talking about the temple. It started out as a tabernacle in the wilderness that moved with the people in their 40 years of wandering. Now the tabernacle itself, just made of wood and cloth, had no importance. Only God's presence made it important. Solomon built the first temple, but no matter how magnificent it was only a building without God's presence in it. However, Stephen echoed Solomon's words, "The Most High does not dwell in temples made with hands." The temple was a symbol of God's presence. Everything in it pointed to Jesus, and He can't be boxed in. Stephen quoted from Isaiah 66, "Heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool." God was so much bigger than they imagined. These leaders had totally missed God right in front of them. Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. The real temple had come, and they had rejected Him. The law, a good thing given by God, and the temple, a good thing built for God to meet His people and a place for them to worship Him. These things had become idols. Now that wasn't an easy thing for the men of the Sanhedrin to hear. Neither is it for us today. But we have to step back and ask these questions. What good things have become idols for me? Or could become idols for me? What blessings of God am I missing because I've been more focused on things than God?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.